Guys, welcome to Group Chat. This episode is brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. They have a ton of great programs on their platform that you can learn. Everything from productivity to lifestyle, freelance and entrepreneurship, creative writing, film and video, and so much more. I love it. Recently, I checked out their photography course on iPhone. I have the new iPhone, and I've been dying to figure out new and different ways to take photos on it. They have a class on there. I found that out. Took the class, and my photos have been off the charts. So with the extra time that I had, I learned a new skill, and it has been so much fun to take my photography to a whole new level. Membership with meaning. We believe a strong community is essential in times of hardship. Tap into the support of fellow creatives who provide encouragement, communication, and inspiration. Drawing, writing, and journalism classes can be a great way to help manage stress and practice mindfulness. Explore your creativity and get 2 free months of premium membership at Skillshare.com/chat. That's 2 free months of unlimited access to thousands of classes for free. Get started today and join today by heading to Skillshare.com/chat. That's 2 free months of unlimited access to thousands of classes at Skillshare, skillshare.com/chat chat. All right, let's get into today's episode.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what day is it? Friday?
It's actually,
Sheesh.
Today is actually Thursday. The episode comes out Friday. Thursday is National Handshake Day.
Is that a joke?
No, it's
that's real.
And Pete, in honor of it, shaking hands this morning, we're here.
No,
Shaking hands.
Were you? Bro, why? You insist on...
nervous.
You know, cases in LA are through the roof.
You know what's crazy? Before we dive in here, Delilah opened last night.
Yep.
And, obviously we were anxious to hear what the experience was like. Very star-studded, A-list
Really?
person.
You name it, they're there.
You name it.
The peak Delilah A-list crowd, they're all there.
They're all there.
I mean, my friends hit me up like it was, a Super Bowl party. Like, yo, you hitting Delilah tonight?
Yes.
Like, what?
And guess what? Handshaking and hugging all around. Just madness. Fuckery to the next level.
So nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that in some of our topics.
Yeah, we got an interview.
Yeah.
We couldn't help it. We got an interview.
Couldn't help with the handshaking.
Okay.
National Handshake Day, and it's our segue into...
I mean, it seems like if you're going to tear down, monuments, tear down National Handshake Day in this sensitive time.
Yes.
It
is
Have some
insensitive.
respect.
I'm offended
I
if
am
anyone
too.
sticks their hand out to
I
shake
am
it.
too. I mean, think of all the elderly people that this is not fair for.
No.
Okay, I don't want to mock the monument thing. It's kind of funny. Okay, go ahead. Who do we got?
So we got our good friend Noah here from Palms, and they are a cannabis company that I met probably like a year and a half ago. They listened to the podcast, and and we got connected through a mutual friend. And I don't know if I mentioned in the last episode that I'm probably smoking twice a week.
Big weed guy now. Tequila
And we were just talking earlier. Cannabis is on fire. Is that right, Noah?
We're having a great last couple of months with people stuck at home looking for stuff to do.
Yep.
It seems like people are stressed out and they're looking towards cannabis.
So you think it's become, in your view, it's like these people normally would drink alcohol or is it like this new group of people that are doing both?
New users.
It's hard to say exactly what's going on, especially because tourism has so cut off. So a lot of people are coming to LA to check out the cannabis scene. So that's not going on anymore.
Yeah.
But I think what's happening currently is when Corona first hit and quarantine, people went and stocked up, just like toilet paper.
Yeah.
So all of the dispensaries and shops were getting just crushed with people loading up. So we saw a little bump there. But now it's kind of evened out, and I think people have more time, so they're consuming more during the day potentially. And then also with all this craziness, they're like, how do I deal with this? And it helps you relax. So for a lot of people, they're going and checking it out.
Plus, the main reason, this is just speaking for me, but I know other people are this way. The main reason I don't smoke weed is because I have shit to do. So if you are just at home anyway, then just smoke weed all day.
So interesting you say that, because I mentioned that to them when the first time then I met them. They actually have a strain for social, right? Which
Yeah.
you feel is fine or active too, right?
Yes, we just launched like a couple new strains, but our whole thing is making it approachable for people. So instead of being like, okay, because a big part of what you're talking about is you've maybe smoked something that just like puts you to sleep.
That's
You
what I
just are
want.
stuck in the couch.
I want to be
Right.
baked.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, but you're like at night, like I'm going to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So for like D bedtime, sweet. We've got something for that. That's like our chill strain, which is like an indica. But for a lot of people who are less experienced, they don't know indica, sativa, CBD, THC. So our approach is make it really approachable. So like Dee mentioned, we have a social strain, which is a little bit more energetic, like giggly, helps people kind of relax. And then we also have an active strain, which is a little bit more energetic, something like before you're going for a hike or going to a yoga class. And then we have one that's really low THC. So it's great for people who are really inexperienced with consuming cannabis and high in CBD. So it doesn't get too heady or paranoid. You don't feel too high. So it's a great entryway.
Which strain is that one?
That's called Heal. And so that's a
I'm
high
trying to
CBD.
pick up cannabis. I just haven't gotten around to
I
it.
think heel might be the thing for you.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
feel left out on the biggest trend.
Yeah. Dabble in some heel.
Yeah.
Just put on one of your good movies.
Yeah.
You might love it.
Yeah, I'm definitely chill.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing. So
I
right,
don't
if
want to
you're-
talk to anybody. I want the opposite of
Does
the
it make
social
you
one.
hungry?
No, I'm not. I don't know. It doesn't. Like yesterday, I smoked and I smoked a lot. And I just watched 20 minutes of Seinfeld and went to sleep.
Perfect. And 0 calories.
Yes.
If you don't do the munchies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just imagine that if you're already stuck at home, especially a lot of young people are unemployed, probably on unemployment, so life's not so bad. And why not just smoke weed? I mean, it seems like the perfect time for you guys.
We feel really fortunate, and we were talking like before, it's an interesting dynamic with everything that's going on, still trying to grow our business within this, and especially with cannabis doing well. Like the public markets are okay for the large cannabis markets, but a lot of our friends who are in the industry, they're seeing this constant growth. And I think the people who are doing it right, because there's some companies that had too many executives at the top and just spending irresponsibly, but the companies that are building real businesses and doing it right seem to all be like doing really well right now.
How long have you guys been around?
So we launched the product in market just about 2 years ago, focused in Los Angeles. And we kind of treated it a little bit like a tech company. My business partner, Tyler, that's his background.
Yeah.
So what we really tried to do was incubate the product and get feedback.
Yeah.
My background's in marketing. And that's why I got involved. Was I was working with cannabis companies and I was so excited to be working in cannabis, and they were my least favorite clients.
Yeah.
And then we started doing more and more for them. We're like, people aren't talking to this part of the market, which is the new casual consumers, where the look and feel of our product is to scale. We want this to be able to be in Whole Foods later on. We want it to be able to be in, 7-Eleven once it goes federally legal. So we want something that's very approachable for everybody. So we entered the LA market, tested out strains, tested out pricing, tested out just our sort of sales pitch and support. And then once we saw something was working, we scaled it up. So we've added new strains. We expanded to Nevada. So that's all exciting.
And what retailers are you in that people might be familiar with?
So we're in a bunch of retailers around Los Angeles. So right down the street, there's like LAVC, which is a shop that we've been in for a while. They're awesome. We also just launched in MedMen, which there's a lot of locations all over LA and a couple up north as well. Green Easy, which is also in the area over by Beverly. The Artistry, which is also like a beautiful store, but we're all over the place. Like you can find the shops on our website to find one that's close, and then also delivery services. So a lot of the shops have their own, and then we work with a delivery service called MJ that their depot's on Fairfax, not too far away as well.
So I have a serious question. So now all these young people who are a lot of younger people I hang around don't drink.
Right.
They're smoking weed. Does this the reason why they're not having as much sex? Because you know
Interesting correlation.
because like drinking leads to sex. I don't know if marijuana leads to sex.
It does for me.
It does for you. Oh, Pete's saying it does.
Pete doesn't have a mic, huh?
Yeah, Pete
Wow.
doesn't. Yeah.
Pete was quick to say.
Yeah,
it.
I mean, that's a very cocky response from somebody.
It's not like a lot, it's not like, but in the same nature.
But what do you think, Noah?
So it's interesting. I think it like can enhance, like a sexual encounter for sure.
Okay.
But I think because it's not consumed in the same way publicly.
How
Like,
much weed is Pete smoking? He keeps knocking.
Peter's over there like, I just smoking and fucking, man. That's all I've been doing.
I wake up and I just smoke and
Smoke, yeah. Roll a blunt, fuck. What the hell?
Didn't mean to interrupt, but this guy just...
it was a worthy interruption.
It's the most passionate I've seen him in a while. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I think part of the fun thing about like consuming cannabis, especially some of the strains, is it can have an effect like on your body. So you actually like feel more things, like can be more sensitive. Like they have amazing products as far as like, you know, outside of stuff that you consume, like edibles or something that you're smoking on the flower side. They have like lubes and all sorts of stuff focused at that. But I think to your point, I think part of the reason is for so long, consuming cannabis was a solo activity, something you had to hide away from, or you're doing it in small groups. It's not like going out to the club or a party or a show where everybody's around, where you're meeting like those people in that situation.
That's fair.
I think it's just the stigma surrounding cannabis. It's not as popular as consuming alcohol is yet, as far as just being socially acceptable. But hopefully it's headed in that direction.
I do think it's better for being alone though. Like if you're alone on quarantine, I do think weed is like a better option than like getting shit-faced alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably.
I mean, I'm
If you don't
down
have a
to do
significant
both.
other, but even you, like you're still having a couple drinks.
Yeah,
you're
one
getting
or
a
two,
little
yeah.
buzz.
Yeah.
You're watching a movie, whatever. I'm talking about like if you're alone, you're a younger person, you don't have a significant other, you're unemployed, and you're just getting hammered alone.
I mean, that would have been Pete if he didn't come to LA. He'd be 12 Milwaukee's
apparently
best.
not. Apparently, be taking bong rips and fucking anything in sight.
That's LA Pete. That's not Milwaukee Pete.
Milwaukee Pete that's not happening to him.
You know what? I kind of view the cannabis space similar to sports gambling in that I think we're still so early on the curve. So for reference, I'd love to hear what the data is on cannabis. Sports gambling on the books, they claim 5 to 10 billion annually in the US. That's sports gambling is.
Wow.
Off the books, it's like 200 to 300 billion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? I mean, everyone I know bets on sports illegally.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to Vegas, we're not going to Atlantic City, which is like some of the only places where you can physically place bets on sports.
Totally.
Cannabis, similarly, I think all the cannabis growth has just been people that removed the friction. They were smoking weed anyways, and now it's just so much easier to get it. So like, cool, I can just go to MedMen or Green Easy or one of these stores or order delivery service. It's going to be really interesting when the new people like me who never smoked that are just like, oh, okay. And I think that growth is going to be crazy.
It's same as coronavirus testing, you know?
Yeah.
You test more, you get more results.
I actually think one of the things they did was really great job is the packaging is also definitely more welcoming. It's not like marijuana always felt intimidating to me.
Yeah.
Even just walking into a store and be like, "What do you want? You want the da 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 da?" I was like, I don't fucking know. I just want to go to sleep. Just make it simple.
OG cushes and
Yeah, I don't like all that technical mumbo jumbo.
And
like,
and some of the and it's not that technical.
Yeah.
It's just we don't know the language.
Yeah.
And so for even me, who like I'm in the industry, I'll walk into a shop and deal with a bud tender, and they'll be dropping, you know, Yoda Brain Kush, and I'd be like, I've never heard of that.
That's
I don't know if I want to be
man.
Yoda Brain high.
Yeah.
That sounds a little crazy.
It's a little intimidating.
Like
It's a-
Yoda's a pretty ugly little dude, and like I don't want to look like
Here's
him.
OG purple urple. Like,
It's the same thing like that DraftKings and FanDuel made for gambling. It made for people who don't understand sports lines that they can just, boom, go pick 2 players and that's your
Right.
team.
Yes.
Plus, I don't want
And
to feel like
Cannabis needs that.
Yeah, 100%. Plus, I just think you don't want to feel like
Yoda
Snoop
Brain.
Dogg every time you want to relax.
Yoda Brain just sounds horrendous.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a pretty confident person. If someone started spitting all that stuff, I'd probably just be too insecure and act like I knew what they were saying. Like, yeah, Yoda Brain.
That's what I think everyone does. And then you get fried and you're like, I fucking hate Yoda Brain.
Yeah, exactly.
It was not the right
Because you don't
choice.
know what you, because like all, like for me particularly, like I think there's a whole demographic of the after work drink, after work, glass of wine people that just want to just take the edge off.
Yeah.
And they did their product, which is actually really cool. It's called Petites. And it's like really small pre-rolls.
Yeah.
That you can
That's
just,
what that is.
yeah.
So
cool.
it's a mini size, because the feedback we got, like we already made smaller pre-rolls for our full size product, but we got the feedback, people like, I'm still not consuming the whole thing. And lighting it for a second time, it never tastes as good. And so we just really want to present them with just like an optimal, approachable experience.
Yeah.
And so not only is it, when you go in the store, you don't have to know all the strains. You can just be like, I'll take that blue one, or like, I'll take chill. I want to be social.
Yeah.
It's really approachable in that way.
Yeah, because that people can understand. When you start dropping Yoda brain and goat fuck
Right.
and all this other stuff, like no one wants to hear.
Yeah, go fuck's the real one.
Yeah, I mean that's what Pete's saying. Pete's like, give me a double of goat fuck.
I'll take a double shot of goat fuck, please. I got a big weekend.
That strain didn't test well in the focus groups. So
You know what's another interesting you brought up about smoking weed, and I think it's more prevalent than weed than in alcohol, is you would smoke a joint and some random person would walk up to you and say, "Can I hit that?"
Yeah.
And you would just share that.
Yeah.
You know how disgusting that is?
That's all of Coachella.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's all it. Yeah.
all of Earth.
But who said that? Oh, Taylor said that just happened last weekend in Austin.
What?
He said that. Oh, it was on behind closed doors. He
Yeah.
said that he was partying or whatever, floating around on the lake, or whatever the fuck he's doing, and someone just handed him a joint, and he's like, That's too much.
He definitely
man.
took a hit.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, like, and I think that's why the petite makes sense, because like no one's ever gonna just share with a group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the petites have been crushing during Corona time.
Yeah.
And also to your point, like the look and feel of our packaging, it looks kind of just familiar.
Yeah.
Intentionally so. So people come up to us and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this before." And I know they haven't, like
Yeah.
when we first launched, but that was the goal. It feels kind of familiar to something they know from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they feel more comfortable with it. Like we have directions on the back of our boxes.
Yeah.
So people just feel more confident when they're consuming.
Yeah, I like that, because most like I think there's like the majority of people have never really interacted with cannabis in any way.
For sure. We're trying to demystify and destigmatize it.
You
Like,
guys should study Anand, because Anand's
Yeah.
about to take this bag home and be the test kit.
Yeah, and he might eat the thing, not light it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a little leafy. He thought it was a wrap.
I may have to FaceTime Pete to get some instructions from
For
before.
real.
When I'm
Hopefully he has
just-
clothes
Yeah, but
on.
he's gonna be fucking.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but Anand is literally the like target. You know what I mean?
we'll have to have a follow-up to see
Yeah.
how it goes.
For sure. Is
Yeah,
Heel
you
in
really
here?
should.
Yeah, Heel's in there. Heel's purple. So we gave you guys each of our like 4 strains that are currently available in California in the petite size, just because those have been crushing. And then our whole thing with building the brand, and part of like why we got connected with Dee is, you know, building like merch and everything associated with the brand and the product is super important.
Yep.
So, you know, we have hats and t-shirts and bags and candles for stuff that people don't identify and want to say, "Hey, I smoke pot."
Yep.
We want products that people can bring out, and like the gift bags even, they're discreet.
Yeah.
So it's super fun bringing them in, or we used to send them to people's offices and people would have no idea until they opened it up that it was a cannabis product.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're trying to do with our marketing and our branding to make sure that people can wear it outside and that it's not something that people have to be so hush-hush about.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
That's
great.
amazing.
Good for you. That was the one thing I will say. Like, I think early on we had conversations about should we get in the weed business. You know, it was like one of those things. It used to be one of those things because I think now it's just you either got in or you didn't. But it used to be like, this is where the action. Like, get in here. So we obviously talked about it, and I think the big opportunity that we all saw was exactly what you're doing, which is taking away that old weed feeling, making it more, you know, whatever, receivable. So I think you guys are crushing it on exactly where the opportunity is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well,
Well, good for you, man. Congrats on the record numbers. Congrats on coronavirus.
Yeah. Congrats.
Great for the
Corona's
industry.
been good for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I talked to another business today and they were telling me some record ass numbers. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's good
good.
for you guys.
Yeah, we're trying to be mindful, you know, support the team and do all that, but we're very thankful and, you know, want to keep the momentum.
Yeah. You gave us an extra goodie bag. I'm tempted to give it to Pete, but I'm also tempted not to give it to him.
Yeah, he may come back
Might
with a kid.
have a kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Social active.
Yeah. Just sucking them all down. Heal, all right. Anyway,
We'll get a report back.
Yes.
I don't know if we want his. We want Anand's report. I don't think we want
Yeah, if
Pete's.
you can get me to enjoy a few good men instead of a glass of wine,
Yeah.
then that's all I need.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good stuff, man.
All right, man.
Thank you, and keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Heck yeah. Okay, we're back. Let's talk about the Rona. Let's talk about so Pete's shaking hands and just begging to get it. I still would bet Pete has to get it.
I mean, we all could have had it or some combination and just have been asymptomatic. That's my hope.
True.
Um,
But cases are soaring.
soaring.
In California, I mean, we're breaking records.
LA County is now the number one county in America.
We're number one.
Good to be
I always
number
said
one.
LA was the place to be.
Now
Yeah,
more
you're
than
right.
ever.
It's a place to be for the most deadliest virus
Yeah.
in American history.
You want to experience Corona, protests, you can run the whole gamut here.
So from what it appears, the openings are only intensifying and the correlating with cases intensifying. So no one cares is what
No.
that's the only deduction, right?
Because do you know how hard it is going to be to try to wind back these openings now?
No, yeah. It's
I
now,
mean, nightclubs are opening.
Nightclubs are opening and people are going to be in there. It's going to be packed.
Yes.
yeah, I also think what's even scarier about the situation is that we were always told that the summer and the light and being outside and all of that is the best case to kill the virus. Like the heat, the light, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the summer. If we're seeing this type of infection level in the summer, wait till we all go back into the winter where you're not going to be able to go outside. Sure, maybe in a place like California you'll be fine, but the rest of the country, they're going to get stuck inside. There won't be able access to fresh air. They won't have the access to that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be way worse in the winter. Way worse in the winter. So the only thing that can happen between now and then is that we all get it and we all assume that getting it is a mild situation and that in the winter, if you get it, it's a mild strain or,
So
not
we're-
like Yoda brain.
We're
you don't want the
Yoda
Yoda
brain.
brain strain
Oh
of
my
Corona.
God.
I think
OG
that you-
Bubba Rona.
I think U.S. as a country kind of collectively has decided that it's going to fly and people are going to get it. Unfortunately, some people are going to die. Most will be fine.
Yeah.
And it's like a Sweden type situation, but on accident because we shut the economy down and have 45 million unemployed. Like you got the worst of everything.
You got the worst of everything.
Yeah.
So we shut down, cratered the economy, and we're opening back up, and cases are going back to peaks.
Yeah.
And you
Instantly.
created a divide
Instantly,
because
yeah.
you've created a mask, no mask crew. Like you literally got the worst that this has to offer.
Yes. We have 45 million people unemployed, and we're almost at peak of April cases. And if the way we're going, we're going to soar right past it.
Soar right past it.
And-
We're going
and
back up.
The
The
ol-
graph is like started to dip, and then we just
The
now.
only thing we have going in our favor is President Trump is stopping federal funding for testing. And he's right. You don't test.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, numbers are going down.
Yeah, I mean, no testing will really help the numbers go down. And what's interesting is everyone, I see a lot of the talking heads who said, of course, when you test, cases are going to go up. Okay, so we all agree with that. We understand that notion. The thing that everyone was denying until now you can't deny is that the Texas governor said in Houston, hospitalization is at 97%. That wasn't the case 2 weeks ago.
No.
So, and we have not hit, like all of these people just started going out a few weeks ago. So a hospital in a place like Houston is going to be at full capacity. And no matter what you say, yes, you may have gotten it and you may have gotten a mild case, but there are people who are getting it and dying.
Yep.
And we have no real data on reinfection rates.
No.
It's way too early. This
Yeah.
virus has been here 6 months.
Yeah, there's not enough information to know that once you get it, you can't get it again.
Or what the long-term ramifications are to your lungs 2 years from now.
yeah.
But just curious, don't you think that by now, if you could get reinfected, we would see a lot of people reinfected?
You would think, yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm just hoping. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that that's at least because, man, if you can get reinfected, we're fucked.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
like, so you can get the flu every year.
So next year, I think it's back again because we won't have a vaccine by then. But I'm just saying, if you can get it and then heal up and go out, run to the grocery store in a month and get it again,
Yeah.
and then again and again and again,
Yeah.
then you just can never leave your house.
Yeah, I mean, and look, the human body is an amazing machine, and I think it does adapt, and it will create the antibodies, and it will, we've fought other things before in mankind. So I think it will be fine over time. The issue, when it comes to the mask, why I think I have such a problem with people that won't wear masks is we don't know. So when you don't know, why not take the most conservative way out of the situation, which it is proven that wearing a mask is effective. So if people just wore the mask, played it safe, and infection rates did go down, then we can get back to some sort of normalcy. I just don't understand why this mask is such a problem for people. Like, is it a sign?
Yeah,
like, if you don't wear a mask, does that make you like less of a human being? Like, what is it?
Yeah, it's a sign of government
Weakness.
control to those people.
Yeah.
And you can't control me.
They do control you.
Yeah.
You have to pay taxes. That's control. You have to wear
You have to
a
stop
seatbelt.
at red lights.
You stop at red light. That's control.
My dad texted me this morning and said something about,
The seatbelt.
yeah, like my new mind. It was a funny one, but he said, I'm listening to today's podcast. I have a new mantra. No seatbelt, no mask. No seatbelt, no mask. No seatbelt, no mask. Has a familiar ring to it. My dad's like, I can get down with this. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the seatbelt thing is the biggest example, but there's a million ways that we are controlled by the government and you're allowed to do, then go drive your car 100 miles an hour down the street.
Yeah.
Because fuck the government.
Yeah, the government's
It's
telling
really,
you to.
it's singularly Donald Trump.
It is.
That we all know that you have the most popular person in the world mocking masks, refusing to wear a mask. His press secretary saying she's not going to wear a mask at the rallies. The rally he had in Arizona that slammed indoor, no one was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It is all Trump.
Yeah.
It's all Trump. It's just, I don't get it. But anyway, look, I don't know. It just seems like we're going to handle it the worst that anyone could handle it. We're going to see what happens. I really, at this point, believe I don't see the way. I don't know how herd immunity works, but I just don't see the way that we don't all, or at least two of us get it. And then you're immune. And then so we don't because now the chances are less. I don't know.
I don't think anyone knows. I think herd immunity is the theory that a lot of people do have. And maybe it plays out.
But according to Bill Gates, for herd immunity, it's like I forget the number.
It's like 60-70% of the population has to get it.
Yeah, like 2 million people die at herd immunity.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, so people who say it's just like the flu, I looked it up. It was like 29 to 59,000 flu deaths a year. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if we and that's when society is full open. Mm-hmm. And everyone's sharing joints, drinking out of bottles, don't wash their hands. That's how deadly the flu is.
Yeah.
Not that deadly considering we were the most disgusting people ever.
Yeah.
Okay? Now we're still pretty precautious and this many people are getting infected. Yeah. It's not like, okay, maybe there's some idiots like Taylor where, that's in Austin still sharing joints. But like most of the population is still, even if they're out and about, they're cautious to an extent.
Yeah.
They're still probably washing their hands more.
So I think that just shows that in March, the numbers were massively underreported because we weren't testing.
Yeah.
And that number probably is multiples of what it is today.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in this more cautious, no matter how we open, and I'm sure there's some idiots sharing joints and stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we're not even close to what we were doing in March.
Yeah.
With restaurants at generally limited capacity, even if they're breaking the rules, it's not what it used to be.
No.
So I think cases were just massively underreported in March. Like basically, if you got a flu from December to March, you had corona.
Yeah. You know
That's
what's
your
funny
theory.
is
That's my theory.
That's a bold theory.
what's funny. Well, you know what's funny is
But you don't report the flu. Like if I got the flu last year, there's no database of me having the flu.
So I agree with that.
And here's the flaw in the more testing, more cases. I mean, Korea's proving they're testing ferociously, but they're actually doing something with the data, which we're not. That's the problem. We're just testing and cool. We just have a chart, but if you don't do anything with the data, meaning who'd you come in contact tracing, like basic stuff, it's the only way to have fewer cases. But just having an aggregate data number is so stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah. And shout out to Matt Belinsky, friend of the pod, got it and is like live, giving everyone a live rundown, right?
Yeah, I think, for his content career, getting Corona is a good move.
He's like Chris Cuomo or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like you needed to do that.
Yeah, you needed
But
to.
what's interesting about Belinsky, he didn't start curating the content till he was already feeling better. We wanted in the eye of the storm. He was probably a little.
When you're coughing up blood,
He's probably a little sketched out. He's like, I don't know if I want to go public yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no doubt. Like, if I got tested positive tomorrow, I don't know. Like, would I share it right away or would I share it
I'd wait till I was out of the.
clear? Right?
Yeah.
Or
you
wait to see if you have symptoms. Because I mean, there's also we don't know what the number is because we do nothing with the data. Is how many people are asymptomatic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the NBA guys that seem to be testing positive generally seem asymptomatic.
Yeah. Yeah, the last thing I would want to do is die and have my last memory be that I said, I got it, feeling fine, dead. You know?
Yeah.
And that's how everyone
and then
remembers
everyone's
you.
like, "This is an idiot."
Yeah, there goes the idiot. Remember the idiot, the guy from Robin Big or whatever that said he had it? And that's not how I want to
Jumped
go
off a
out.
6-story building,
Yeah.
fought a bull.
Exactly, and then got the flu and died. Yeah, I don't want to. That's not how I want to go down. So I don't blame Matt. But if you want some live coverage of what it's like,
Check him out.
check out Matt Belinsky.
He was going to be my loser of the week, but
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping Pete would be our live coverage, but can't seem to get it, even though he's literally trying as hard as he can.
yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
You could be
I guess-
asymptomatic.
Yeah, I think
You have to go lick the
So we got
hand.
tested.
Yeah, but you got tested once over a span of 90
we
days.
also got tested for corona, not for the antibodies.
That's
Yeah.
the trick.
Yeah, but the antibodies I don't have a lot of faith in.
you don't.
Meaning,
do you mean
like, I don't know
neither? You're
what
not a
it
doctor?
shows.
Like you don't think it's reliable necessarily.
Right, because how few people have antibodies of people we know can't reflect how many people had corona. The numbers just don't make sense.
Or are the numbers just not that high? Like, what are the numbers in LA? I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. Like, what if maybe the numbers just aren't that crazy
In terms of which?
in terms of how many people actually, like, maybe that many people just aren't getting, like, the number isn't that severe.
Of people who actually had the virus?
Yeah.
My data is just anecdotally. We know one person who has the antibodies in Los Angeles.
But you know, like,
So many people that have gotten it.
yeah. Yeah.
They're also not testing.
Yeah.
I don't fucking
How
know.
long do the antibodies last? We don't know that. That's a big
I
question.
will say all the girls from the office, because they all had flus, all got antibody tests officially, and none of them had it.
That's my point. Like,
Yeah.
what are the odds that all these people that had pretty much all the symptoms of corona in the fastest transmissible disease we've seen in years,
Yeah.
like, does the antibody test, is it relevant?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused. Because then you hear these stories of like one group that goes, you know, it's, was it the tennis player?
Yeah.
The one group and they all get it.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, this is the most transferable disease
ever.
that ever existed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, we don't know. No fucking idea. We'll keep watching it. But bad news. All of these rising cases has caused Disneyland to delay their opening.
That to me means it's serious.
And I heard Apple's closing some stores.
Apple's closing some stores. Phases in Texas and Arizona have been paused now. I mean,
And Florida.
If Texas, Florida,
Yeah.
those states
Yeah.
have said, "What?" Texas governor was on television today saying, "Wear a mask." Texas.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And I got DMs from people who live in Texas and said, nobody's wearing a mask out here. Like, people are just walking around bareballing.
That's what Taylor said.
Yeah.
Raw dogging.
Yeah.
Just down the river.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like care in the world, sharing joints.
Disneyland's a great barometer, like you said. They're a global franchise.
Yeah.
They have stuff open in China currently. And Bob Iger is seeing all of this, even though he's technically not the CEO. I got to imagine he's still driving a lot of the decision making at this big of a level.
Yeah.
They're seeing data that they're like, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah, because Bob Iger
They
is like,
have-
in China, they're following very strict rules, and
Yeah.
Chinese people are so scared of the government there that they will follow the rules to the T. He's like, we're just gonna let these fat Americans into our park and just destroy this place, kill everybody. 14 mouse dead.
Because Karen decided to show up without a fucking mask.
Just
Yeah.
running through mice.
Can you imagine the keeping up with the Karen's account in Disneyland during Corona? When the kid has to
Oh
take a
my
picture with the
gosh.
mouse and with the mask on, and the kid won't do it.
The mascot's the safest person in Disneyland.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They pretty much just have a permanent mask on.
Yeah. And then Karen just yelling at Mickey Mouse because he won't take a picture because the kid won't wear a mask.
It might be worth it for that content. You would get remember that big brawl that happened? You get that every day. It'd be a Royal Rumble in Disney.
Oh my God, because there's going to be people that are not going to abide by the rules.
It's literally like shirts versus skins. Just go who's in the mask, who's not. Good luck.
My guess is Disneyland is a hot spot for Karens.
Oh, are you kidding?
Gotta imagine.
It might be the world's biggest.
Karen melting pot.
Yeah, because what's worse than a Karen in the wild, but a Karen in the wild with a kid that they want to protect, quote
like a mama
unquote.
bear.
In the middle of summer in Anaheim,
Yeah.
when it's 112 waiting in line for, Small World, and the mask is, you're sweating, you just ate like a churro, you just like...
And has paid great deals of money to be here.
And your
Yes.
kid's screaming.
Ooh, that's
'cause-
a bad one. Because if they've paid money to be there and there's no manager
And think
in
about
sight,
like a 10-year-old that's forced to wear a mask, is taking the mask off, throwing it on the ground, stepping
my
on
God.
it.
There, Bob Iger's like, we can't enforce
they should
anything
open.
here."
They should open, man. They should just say, fuck it. We're opening. Everyone film what you see.
To wear whatever you want. Do whatever you
It's
want.
just one big experiment. Someone should buy the rights and make a TV show out of
Oh
it.
my God.
Oh my God.
What is that movie where they follow him around and his life's a TV show?
Truman Show?
The Truman Show? It could
Yeah.
be like the Karen Show.
Yeah.
You can
It's
do
just
that
like
at
her.
Disneyland.
Her day.
And Disneyland, unfortunately, it's going to bring the worst out of Karen because it's a diverse crowd. From all over every race and
Indians, black people, white people,
There's
Mexicans.
a lot of
No,
funny
no.
words being said there, and it's not English. Karen doesn't like all that foreign mumbo jumbo talk.
No. This is America.
You speak English.
What is that? What is that?
What are you trying to say?
Oh my God. I think the best thing that could happen for our social media content is for Disneyland to open.
Yeah, oh my
right
God.
on time.
I would just live there.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny. You could just
yeah.
have a camera and it would just explode. Like the racial tension.
I would just live
Yeah.
stream everything.
Yeah.
No need to chop and wait.
Between mass Karens and racial tension, I think Disneyland literally probably had this conversation. Like, we can't open.
You fucking kidding me?
I mean, and you're underestimating having a screaming kid throwing a temper tantrum,
the
bringing
heat.
the Karen out of Karen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nothing like paying good money and getting what you think is bad service, being surrounded by minorities and having a screaming child to really get people.
Oh, yeah.
And just hopped up on churros.
Yeah, just sugar.
Oh man, I will say this is one of the times when I really trust like these big corporations way more than the government.
Yeah.
Especially the global companies.
Yeah.
That was why I was so early on this Corona, because I was just watching what globally traded companies are doing internationally.
Yeah.
I was like, if they're shutting down over there, it's going to shut down over here.
Yeah, you called it. I will say, call of the century.
It was good. It was a good one.
You were early on
And I was
that.
getting mocked
You were getting mocked.
publicly, privately,
Yeah,
everywhere.
everything.
I mean, I remember I went to dinner at Craig's with Brian and Sienna, and we joked about, could you imagine no one being here on a Friday night? No one's been there on a Friday night for 4 months.
Forever.
It's insane.
I remember on one of the podcasts, I was like, when do you think a U.S. city would shut down?
Yeah.
And you guys, like
Never.
most people, were just
Yeah.
like, there's no freaking chance.
Yeah.
I thought it was my body, my choice.
You knocked it out of the park. Okay, what's going on with unemployment? I mean, I know stuff's kind of opening back up.
Wait, last thing. Sorry.
Yes.
Disneyland. Splash Mountain got canceled. Did you see that?
Yeah. I don't know if it got canceled or just changing it to
Renamed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because Splash Mountain is based off a movie in 1946 that apparently was racist. So now it's Princess and the Frog theme.
Good.
so
Fuck
Walt
Splash
Disney
Mountain.
was racist, right?
Walt Disney's a racist. That's known.
So technically, by the current judgment, Disneyland should never open.
I agree.
Blow it up.
It's gone.
Add it to the pile.
I never want to go there.
Sorry, Karens.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I
This
mean,
might affect Karens of all races.
it sounds like Walt Disney was a chain-smoking racist. Jeez, man, this is tough.
I mean, imagine when the mouse takes off his mask. What's
Yeah.
coming flying out of his mouth?
under it's a white hood. Okay. Unemployment. What's going on is still not looking good. Huh?
So, people are predicting a weekly unemployment, first-time unemployment of 1.35 million, which is still a staggering number. It actually came up to 1.48 million, so it exceeded expectations. And in a bad way. And we are in the middle of a reopening. So why are there still more first-time unemployment claims happening? People were supposed to be rehiring these folks in the last 2 weeks because things are reopening. Something doesn't smell right.
I agree.
And guess what? Stock market up.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
come on, why wouldn't
more
it be?
people are unemployed? Up.
It's
It's
at
Splash Mountain.
Yeah, up, and then down.
It had one scary day yesterday,
Yeah.
and everyone was like, "Is this the beginning of the end?"
And it's not. It's right back up the next day.
And you have Portnoy mocking everyone who's selling. Stocks only go up.
I'm the unemployment thing is so scary. It's 48 million people now. 48 million. That's a lot of people.
You know what that's good for? The weed biz.
Yeah.
Grab some chill, forget about it.
Yeah. Who cares? You're getting 600 a week. Who
Yeah.
gives a shit?
I don't know, man. It has never felt, I mean, obviously in my lifetime, like there's so many like events happening at once that feel like it could explode.
Yeah.
Like with the racial tensions and then you tie in all the cancel culture stuff that's kind of jumping on board with that, then the stock market stuff, then the unemployment. It's like, then your numbers, at the end of the day, all of this was for nothing. Coronavirus numbers are record high.
So, a lot of the economists and a lot of finance people were talking about this V-shaped recovery. So the stock market had a V-shaped recovery. I get it because the Fed bought their way into liquidity. But I don't understand how people think the actual economy is going to have a V-shaped recovery. So that means spending is going to normalize to what pre-corona was by the end of the year, which is not possible given everyone I talk to, with the exception of just younger people who don't give a shit. But I don't know what the spending power of younger people versus older people in this country are, especially at retail and hospitality and things of that nature. So let's assume all young people resume spending pre-corona. Let's assume that's even the case.
Yeah, I just wanted, so one data point we have, which is since Corona started, the top 25% of earners, their spending has fallen off a cliff. And so it's the bottom 75% that have maintained or even had small upticks because of some unemployment benefits or some stimulus check. That's a recipe for a prolonged recession.
Yes.
If the top earners are spending less, that's the majority of the consumption in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is that, sorry to interrupt.
No, I was going to say, what were you, finish your thought.
Yeah, my thought is thinking about 6 months from now, 12 months from now, when I talk to my peers, so more people my age, people who have kids, they are not in an urge to do anything. Like they don't want to go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
If they talked about like a family vacation, it's an Airbnb in Palm Springs at most. They don't want to go to a hotel. They're afraid to dine out. They don't want to hop on a plane. They're shopping online when the bare necessities, groceries, this and that. No one's like splurging and treating themselves for things. It's like, I don't know, what cohort of people are going to prop the economy back up. If everyone I know is still being extremely conservative, like no one wants to go and, Pete went and bought a new car. He doesn't care. He's smoking. He's fucking. He's buying a new car.
Pete bought a new car?
Yeah.
That's Howdy, he took my spot.
What?
Pete took my spot.
I know. I thought you got your college car back, and then this guy pulls in
Today?
No, this last few weeks. I'm like parking in the garage is empty, so I'm just parking in random spots.
Yeah.
Because Pete took my spot that says D and Anand.
Yeah.
He took my office.
Life's good around here, man. Quarantine's been great for me.
Gosh.
I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, that's sketchy. Because all the Pete's are just living
their
better than they've ever lived.
Yeah.
I know other people that are just unemployed, collecting unemployment, got their $1,200, are spending more than they've ever spent.
Yeah.
I mean, if we didn't have kids, I'd be rich. I'd be spending on nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All my discretionary income is going to our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. It just feels like I know I've said it a million times, we all have, it just feels like we're headed towards like devastation.
Yeah. I think here's what I do think. Maybe it's not going to be like depression. I just think it's just going to suck for a long time.
Yeah.
That's
think
what I
that-
really think is going to happen. Like they've pumped on enough money to businesses to survive. So, if your business fell apart, it's purely because of your industry or your economics are just so bad that it fell apart. Everyone else was given like PPP or easy loans, and we know public market companies were given free money essentially. So I think that we're all going to survive. It's just going to be a long slug before things are back to normal.
Yeah, think about it. Here's the biggest kind of misconception I think people with the stock market and real estate prices and all these things that still have all held. So real estate, at least in like the top zip codes, they've all held for the most part, and the stock market obviously held or crashed and went back up. People started this crisis rich, the top earners.
Yeah.
So by the time it trickles down to the white collar folks, it's still going to take time. We're only 90 days in, right?
Yeah.
So
It'll be next year.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Everyone's business, like not everyone, but like think about all these businesses affected. Like every one of these restaurants is owned by a millionaire,
Yeah.
effectively.
Yeah.
And their restaurant's been shut for 90 days.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have limited capacity for the foreseeable future.
So they're not going to be dividending themselves out the big check
Exactly.
At the end of the year.
And then just extrapolate that across every industry with the exception of, certain companies that thrive in a pandemic, like software businesses and whatnot. But it's going to take time to affect rich people. Yeah. And that's when it's really going to sting.
So I'll give you the only anecdote I have is when I moved out of my apartment to my house last year, the apartment I was renting, I was paying very high rent. And when I left, they jacked up the rent 40%. 40%. And I was like, who the hell is going to pay 40% more than what I was paying? And we looked it up. It still has not been leased. And they've dropped the price now 25%.
Wow.
So they're almost back to what we were paying. And they still have not leased it out yet. So I know everyone's saying real estate's never going to go down. Whenever anyone says that means it's going to happen.
Yeah, consensus is always wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, the consensus is the stocks only go up.
Yeah.
It's probably a pretty nasty correction coming soon.
Yeah. Sorry, Davey, day trader. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
What about you? You guys want to jump into politics real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on with give me an update on the race. What's going on with Biden? Is Trump, looks like Trump might be losing some key steam leading up to November here, and maybe staying quiet is working for Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, I mean, staying quiet is clearly working. He's winning, but these are polls. Obviously, polls don't mean anything, but this is a New York Times poll, which obviously doesn't favor Trump anyways. But he's leading in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida, Arizona, and North Carolina. Biden is leading in all of those states, according to this poll.
And it's not even, it's like some cases like 10 points.
Yeah, in a lot of the states, it's double digit. So we had some primaries this past week in Kentucky and in New York. And in Kentucky, they had like record turnout. And what's happening is a lot of these like congressional cases, so congressional elections that are primaries, so like Democratic primaries, like in Kentucky, a black dude won, and in New York, another dude won. Like these people that were kind of like maybe gonna win, maybe not, kind of fringe candidates. This surge in like interest has powered a bunch of these new candidates. So now, what I think the Republicans don't realize is a guy like Lindsey Graham could lose. Mitch McConnell could lose.
Yep.
Then they're toast. The entire party could be toast in like 4 months.
Those are the two most dangerous people in politics,
Yeah.
McConnell and Graham.
Yeah.
Because they actually know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just kissing up to Trump to
Remain
backdoor
power.
all the policies that they want,
Yeah.
which are predatory in many cases. And that's what we talked about in the last podcast. Like, as sleepy as Joe is, he just doesn't bring out the same vitriol and hate that Hillary Clinton did.
Yeah.
And that might be enough.
That might be all you need.
But the key to it is, which I think he needs to successfully not debate.
I would cancel all three.
Yeah.
He's too old. Corona, Spike.
Yeah.
The Spike is the best thing that could happen to him.
And by the way, if you say you agreed to a debate, you say it has to be done on Zoom.
Yeah.
That's a very different experience. You could be fed information. You could be given cue cards. You can be given...
And another thing, I just don't think Trump's buffoonery is hitting the way it did in 2016. Like, it's gotten stale and old.
Yeah.
Like, he's still saying batshit crazy things on Twitter, and no one even cares anymore.
You got to switch it up. He didn't evolve well.
Yeah.
He needs his team back, man, or he needs a new one. I think he had the dream team of all those guys, those Roger Stones, and I think they literally, like, Roger Ailes, I think they had the dream team.
Yeah, they were willing him into...
And Fox News refused to break rank earlier in 2016. He's now going after Fox News in his tweets.
Yeah, because they are scolding him on coronavirus.
Well, they are popular in red states. What's happening in red states?
Yeah.
Hospitalizations are increasing.
Yeah.
You kind of have to deliver the news to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
Kind of.
Think about the magic of, like, I would argue that Roger Ailes and Fox was, like, massively responsible for him winning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You take that out of the picture and take out your guys, I mean...
And I don't think Trump in 2020 is firing up new voters the way he did in 16.
Yeah.
To burn it all down, Hillary's a crook. That whole like message, what's the message? Now he's going after Obama. Biden is the most corrupt presidency we've ever seen. That's his new.
That's his new thing.
But like you're talking about Obama. You're gonna still talk about Hillary. Yeah. Sleepy Joe just sleeping his way.
He's gonna sleep and wake up in the White House.
And if you assume everything is kind of plays out normally, all Biden has to win of Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida, Arizona, and North Carolina. He just has to win 3 of them.
Yep.
He's leading in all of them.
I mean, Texas and Georgia are up for grabs. That's unthinkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also just don't think that'll be the difference between people leaving their house to go vote for Trump or not. Like, I think Trump just got people out in 2016. And if you're on the fence and you're like, whatever, I think that's what actually happened in reverse. Like, Hillary there were so many people that just couldn't bring themselves to vote for Hillary.
Yeah.
When in hindsight, maybe they should have, I don't know. But the point is, I think that same thing could happen to Trump.
And keep in mind, Hillary won the popular vote by nearly 3 million votes.
Still, despite being
the worst candidate we could have possibly put up.
Yeah.
So you just get a guy who likes to nap.
Just nap.
America can relate with naps.
I think they're just weekend at burning him right in there. And then they're going to get in there and be like, all right, what the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
Okay. What about this Kentucky Senate race? Seems pretty important.
Yeah, it's important because it would be the person that would potentially go against Mitch McConnell.
Yeah. We need someone strong in there.
Exactly. So Representative Charles Booker is the person leading in this Democratic primary, and just was down a few days ago. They're still counting votes. They said it's probably going to take another week or two. But if he wins and he gets momentum and he starts raising money, because like if you are a wealthy Democratic donor, you should be backing also these key Senate races, because if you want liberal policies to start being enforced, you kick Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham out of the Senate. It is a different country.
Yeah, if Bloomberg and Soros, maybe they're doing this already, just go put $100 million into this race. You'll get Mitch McConnell out.
Yeah. And like even
he's worse than Trump.
Yeah, that's true. That'll be key. We need them to come through there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we'll throw this into politics, more tariff talk and really bad news that I think is just hitting close to home. It looks like wine could really be affected here.
Fortunately, I'm a tequila guy.
You don't dabble in wine at all? Anand's the wine guy?
I'll dabble if like someone gives me a nice bottle of wine, I'll open it up. The problem with wine, since I'm a solo drinker, if I open a bottle,
gotta finish it.
I gotta finish it.
It's true.
So that puts a lot of pressure on me.
Especially if it's somewhat nice.
Yeah,
it's just not going to taste good the next day.
Yeah, that'll ruin your next day.
I had Eric Deluxe actually came over for dinner a few weeks ago, and he brought over a bottle of wine, and we each had like a glass or two, and he was like, "I'm driving. He just had like maybe barely a glass, and at the end of the night, I'm taking the bottle. I'm like, what am I doing with this? And it's like, just poured it up.
Yep.
Kept drinking.
That's what happens.
Interesting story we got shared in the DM. I won't share the gentleman's name, but he reached out to us and said, hey, man, to the 3 of us, he had reached out and said, hey, I'm a Mormon guy. Never really had a sip of alcohol my entire life. I'm like 26, 27 years old. The pandemic came. Quarantine comes around. popped my first drink.
No way.
Yes.
How old do you think he was?
I think he said 26.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And he goes,
I'm no longer Mormon. I have started a new life.
He then goes on and says, what do you suggest I start drinking? So Anand's like, I don't want to send you down a dark path. You should do whatever you want. Enjoy
Yeah, I was
it.
like, I don't need the dirt on my hands.
So I go straight into it and tell him, I think if I were you, I would do Casamigos Reposado on the rocks, Casamigos Blanco, a nice Blanco with maybe grapefruit juice, do a Paloma, really enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And then and I go, maybe start with wine. He's like, wine tastes like dirt. So then he goes, so then I go to him, he's like, yeah, it's quite expensive to drink. And he goes, yeah. I'm like, especially for you as a Mormon, you're going to give 10%.
Yep.
Plus, now you picked up drinking. You're going to be broke.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have just sent him down a really bad path.
And, while we're at drinking, let me introduce you to Bovada, DraftKings, FanDuel. Pick up sports gambling.
Yeah, might as well, man.
And by the way,
it's fun when you're buzzed.
and by the way, if you're out in, let's just, he didn't say where he was, but let's assume he lived in Utah. You could drive over to Nevada and pick up some marijuana.
Maybe a hooker.
Maybe a hooker.
The little place called the Bunny Ranch.
This guy can spiral in the next 12 hours. Thanks for listening to Group Chat. Oh my God. You know what? Do some day trading.
Yeah, get a Robinhood account,
Yeah.
a couple gambling accounts.
Sheesh. Okay. Well, Anand, thank you for at least looking out for the guy.
I tried.
Yeah, you tried your best. Okay, let's break here for some ads. Pete, step on up.
Guys, welcome back to the ad portion. Today we have Skillshare. You probably heard him in the beginning. Now you're going to hear him again. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. They have tons of great classes available for everything from productivity, lifestyle, freelance, entrepreneurship, creative writing, UI, UX design, web development, marketing, and animation, and so much more. Lately, I've taken it on. I had the new iPhone. I've been taking okay photos. As many of you know, I'm a photographer on the side as well, but I don't always have time to take my camera with me. So I wanted to learn more about how to take really cool photos with my camera. So they walk through a lot of the composition, a lot of the editing, and a lot of the setup that you can do with your iPhone to really enhance your photos and take them to the next level. I took the course and my photos have been off the charts. Skillshare offers creative classes designed for real life and all the circumstances that come with it. A creative challenge or productivity class may help. It may help in setting small goals and feeling a fulfilling sense of accomplishment. Especially right now with a lot of time, this is a great time to knock out some of those new goals and challenges you have. Guys, explore your creativity and get 2 free months of premium membership at Skillshare.com/chat. That's 2 whole months. 60 days. Tim, 60 days of unlimited access to thousands of classes for free. Get started and join today by heading to Skillshare.com/chat. That's 2 free months of unlimited access to thousands of classes at Skillshare, SKILLSHARE.com/chat, CHAT. Okay, let's get back into today's episode.
Okay, great work.
Thanks.
What's going on? LeBron James is making moves with his Spring Hill, his production company. Got some big investments. What's he?
Looks like they raised $100 million for the entertainment company.
Is that what the story was with him and was it Rich or Mav?
This is Maverick Carter.
That when they were on the cover of Bloomberg. What
Yeah.
were they talking about in that story?
We're talking about how they're building this company.
Got it.
So Rich Paul's sports agent, who pretty much I think runs any UTA sports, when his Clutch Sports got acquired.
Yeah.
So he went the sports agency route. Maverick Carter was building a media empire, and it sounds like he did.
Sounds like he did.
Yeah. And
Sheesh.
his company is producing the new Space Jam. They do the uninterrupted stuff with The Shop, the TV show on HBO. And here's the thing, there's going to be this huge push for diversity in entertainment. Who are the few people that are situated perfectly? He already had the company set up. He's already.
But the interesting fact, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. They closed this in March.
Yeah.
If he waited till now, he probably could have raised $500 million.
Yeah.
It's true.
With all the guilt that people have.
It's true.
And I think what's going to happen now, because he has the money already, so now just greenlit greenlit projects. I mean,
Yeah, you can't say no to Spring Hill.
no, the thing is like there's such a mandate now for diversity. And unfortunately, so many people weren't set up to take advantage of it. But there were a lot of people who were set up to take advantage of it. So I feel like LeBron will be a billionaire. 100%.
He might already be.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's going to be a very liquid billionaire.
yes. I mean, if you think about just if you value he has $1 billion lifetime value contract with Nike.
Yeah.
Gotta imagine real estate around the world.
Yeah. Real estate in
And if
Brentwood.
you just project out like in 5 years what that future value is, it has to be $1 billion before all this.
Yeah. I wanna
He
hear
owns a
those
piece of
guys.
Liverpool. I think they just won the Premier League today.
Did they?
Yeah.
He's just a winner, that guy.
Yeah. He really is.
I want to hear those guys talk about, I'm sure they have, but like talk about racism and like the mentality. Because those guys overcame so much shit.
Yeah.
Even when you think about like, look, you can say all day long like, oh, those guys came up under LeBron and blah, blah, blah. But like to even learn how to get to that level of business, being like some dude running around trying to catch a basketball player homie early,
Yeah.
like that's wild.
I
Those guys
heard-
became,
Maverick Carter, I think he's on the board of Netflix, and he did a talk that went public, like you can find it on YouTube, with Michael Rapino. And he talks about this, like he was in rooms, like you speak well for an African American.
yeah,
They like hint at that as
Yeah.
opposed to, hey, you're a smart guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But I mean, talk
'Cause-
about like saying fuck it and doing it anyway.
Yeah.
You know, because now these guys are in a position to put all these other people, give all these other people opportunities. Like they really did it. They
Yeah.
really beat the odds. And like now they're going to give a lot of other people opportunity. Like, I don't know. I just think that's a really good model that a lot of people should
Yeah.
hear from.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm sure LeBron early days put up a lot of his own resources to bundle this stuff.
I mean, LeBron, in my opinion, from a celebrity athlete standpoint, is the greatest story of all time. Forget greatest athlete of all time. I don't care about debating that. But he came from pretty much the gutter, empowered his best friends to be his business partners, and they all won.
They all won. Like you didn't suffer because you empowered your friends.
Yeah, Rich Paul is the biggest basketball agent, period.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the biggest sports agent, period.
Yeah.
Like that's not luck. That's not like a homie deal.
No.
You know, like how does that happen? With those three guys, no one crapped out. I mean, I don't know. Even the old homies seem like they're still all friends.
Yeah. No, but I think that's LeBron because he seems like he's a generous person. It was never just about him. Whereas a lot of other athletes or a lot of other celebrities, it's always about them.
But how the
Specifically
hell-
celebrities.
But how did he have the wherewithal at 19, 18 to think like that? He was 18 years old when he decided the Four Horsemen and he's empowering these guys. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
Maybe he's just a genius.
But
He
growing
is
up
a
where he
genius.
grew up and with the guidance that he probably had or didn't have.
Yeah.
It's not like he had some businessman father that to teach him how to structure it. Like it's just wild. And you're spending all your time on basketball,
Yeah.
but you were able to do this as well. I just don't. it's
I
crazy.
think he is a genius to your point because even, I don't know if you've seen those clips like post game, he has a photographic memory. So
Yeah.
he can describe
Yeah, he's
every
talking about a
play.
play in the second quarter from 6 years ago.
And he
Like, I
names
remember
like
that.
the
Yeah.
time, like
Yeah.
people who was in the play, what they did, what the defensive scheme was. Like that, if you have a photographic memory, you're a genius.
Yeah.
And you're not even getting caught with like Instagram thoughts.
Yeah.
Even Elon Musk is having threesomes with, you know what I'm saying? You gotta blow some steam off in the genius way, I guess. LeBron, what, you're just a perfect family man
crazy.
too?
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
So good.
Okay, what's going on with this Steve Bing thing? The Steve Bing suicide.
This is crazy. So Steve Bing is a billionaire, kind of like socialite that we've been seeing in LA since I've been going out. He used to be at parties. He's at every hot restaurant. You know, most recently he spent a lot of time at a popular vegan spot called Crossroads that I believe was an investor in. And you see him everywhere. He's a fixture. He always was with A-list celebrities. And then, you know, start looking him up and he's a guy that inherited money in like, I think the 80s or 90s from his father. Was very generous, donated money to Stanford and all kind of causes all over town. Used to date Elizabeth Hurley. They had a kid. And, you know, that's how people kind of first heard of him. But he was just a staple in the LA scene. And he committed suicide a few days ago.
Right down the street.
Right down the street at an apartment complex called 10,000 in Century City.
Probably the most high-profile apartment building.
Yeah.
Would you say that?
Yeah, I went and
Probably one
toured
of
it
Sierra
like not that
Towers
long ago.
and-
It's like top 3.
Yeah.
Definitely top 3.
And, this guy, 30 years ago inherited like $600 million. So probably at some point was worth north of $1 billion. Produced a lot of movies. And, a guy that you look from the outside, you're like, this guy seems like he had it all. Mm-hmm. He did run in a lot of very famous circles, one with Bill Clinton, Ron Burkle. I think, people are saying that he was somehow connected, with Jeffrey Epstein. Mm-hmm. The conspiracy internet is now going wild.
Knew that was coming.
And
so is the assumption you're north of 50, you're a billionaire, you have an Epstein connection?
Yeah, well, especially if you've ever been seen with Bill Clinton. That's what he knew Epstein.
Yeah. I think anyone associated with the Clintons,
it's crazy.
It seemed like they have
the most poisonous name when you think about it. And he was at the time an extremely popular president.
Oh, up until recently, probably the most popular president that we'll ever see.
Yes.
And he is now just like this tainted, poisoned character. What the hell were they doing in the White House, these guys?
I don't know, man. You got to go chill, though, and just do what George Bush did. No one even cares about George Bush anymore.
No.
He should be the most hated president in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Instead, no one cares. He's painting pictures.
Yeah. And then you can't get away from the Clintons. And Steve Bing has a Clinton relationship.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure Steve Bing dated models and actresses and all that type of stuff. So we don't, and so we don't know. We don't want to jump to all these theories, but it's alarming that a guy like him, and they're saying that he was depressed because of quarantine and maybe doing drugs and stuff like that. But we know some very wealthy people. I don't know if they'd kill themselves. So either the guy lost all his money, or he was crazy on drugs, or something else happened.
Yeah, he was clearly a staple in the LA party scene, because if you just saw who was posting about him that claimed that they had some sort of connection, it was party people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. There's so many. You could go on so many conspiracy theories there, or maybe the dude just was depressed and left out of his thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I also think there's something to the type of people that inherit lots of money. Sometimes they.
Yeah, I get that. But he's not a young man.
I know.
Where I get it when you're 26, you inherit $1 billion. That's probably too much for a lot of people to handle. Mm-hmm. But he was a grown man.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to see, and not to say that you can't be depressed and don't have those things. It's just, I don't know, why are you living in an apartment complex? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand it's one of the nicest, but why are you living there?
Yeah. A lot of questions.
Yeah.
There was a lot of questions for the CrossFit founder after his response to the George Floyd stuff.
Yep.
I think originally he said he was stepping down.
Yep.
Now it looks like he's just going to sell the company.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out. So good move. Step down. I will say though, for the cancel culture, they're probably bummed because he's still going to make a bunch of money here.
Yeah, he's selling to the owner of CrossFit Sanitas Gym in Boulder, Colorado. So
I am so confused about this whole, what is it that he owns exactly?
I guess the name.
He owns the name CrossFit.
Yeah.
So if you say you have a CrossFit gym,
You have to pay him, you think?
Pay him, yeah.
he's the tax man.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Interesting.
Have to do shitty pull-ups and pay this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the shit? Imagine the struggle of trying to start a new gym and you got to pay a license just for the name CrossFit to some racist with his stupid pull-ups.
Well, not anymore. He's gone.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. And then in the fitness kick, what about F45? F45 is going public, that gym. So to me, F45 is this workout. It's a Soul Cycle type thing, a packaged workout thing, Orange Theory or whatever. I always see Mark Wahlberg posting it.
Yeah, he's definitely involved. He has a minority stake in the company.
Well, good for him because it looks like they're going public.
So they have 1,200 studios. They're an Australian company. They're going public via SPAC, which we've talked about before. And it's valuing the business at $845 million. They think they're going to be a franchise. They're going to eventually be a 25,000 studio business, which is insanely large. Mm-hmm. And they only did $93 million revenue. It's not, I'm saying only, but you're valued at $1 billion.
Yeah, because they're a franchise model.
Yeah.
So you pay a franchise fee and you have to pay some sort of recurring. So apparently in the U.S. it's $312,000 to get a franchise, and then you pay $2,500 a month flat. And under that structure, gyms apparently can break even within 6 months. Obviously, to make more money, they're going to switch it to revenue based, which will crater the gyms.
Yeah.
The first person that told me about F45 is Taylor. He seems obsessed with it.
Yeah.
So stock should crater.
But wasn't that like a
Yeah.
kick?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like a kick he went through where he like finessed like, oh, you get a free first
yeah,
trial
totally
and I
right.
go to 5 different gyms.
I mean, look, if F45 is worth $1 billion, Peloton's worth $16 billion. So fitness is hot. You can't go to a studio anywhere, or most people don't want to.
Yeah.
But fitness is hot.
Yeah, I just feel like you might not be able to go to a true fitness like close thing till next
Especially
year.
like a circuit training type atmosphere. Do people, I mean, maybe because of, I don't know, I don't know what type of personalities go to an F45, but like they're comfortable with no one wearing masks, coughing, spitting, sweating all over you.
I can't. I was a very active gym person. I know you're just an outdoor guy. I fully transitioned to outdoor workouts, and I can't see myself in a gym because everything we hear about is the transmission rates are all indoor, and outdoor is limited transmission rates. So why would I put myself at that risk where droplets are everywhere?
Mm-hmm. And people are just dropletting their asses off in those places.
I'm going to start a gym called Droplets.
Great. I'll
You
be your first
should.
member.
You should do a gym where you have to test it positive for corona.
Yeah.
Proof of positive test.
And then you can,
Or just a gym with an all UV light ceiling.
yeah. Whole thing's UV.
You get a tan.
Get
it's
a
like a tanning
tan.
bed in there.
Yeah.
I need sunscreen when I go to this gym now.
Yeah, you can go there and get a nice base tan and a workout. That'd be sick.
$200 a month. People would pay that all day.
Yeah.
I get an employee discount?
At Droplets?
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Are you getting a raise?
I know. I thought there's perks.
Anyone a
with it.
discount? You just got a new fucking car. Okay. The last story.
Yep.
Zuckerberg, Facebook. So Facebook, they're dealing with advertisers pulling out. It sounds like the staff is not happy. Real issues around the way that they're treating all this political stuff and hate speech and all that stuff allowed on their platform. That being said, while this is all happening, the Zucks is out to Hawaii.
So Zuck, is like paddle boarding out in Kauai on his 700 acres that he paid $100 million for. 200 advertisers are threatening to boycott in July on ad spend. So people like North Face and I think Patagonia. I forgot all the companies.
Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's. So my advice to you small business owners, advertise heavily in July because these white-owned companies are taking a stand so we can make money.
They'll be back.
Good way to spin it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got an email from our Facebook rep like, hey, we want to get ahead of this. We want to let you know what's going on. And I was like, let me know when it gets into the thousands. So I'll definitely spend way more money in July.
Oh, so the reps actually proactively reached out.
Yeah, just say.
So this is actually something that they've instructed their teams internally to do.
Yeah, so they're concerned about how this, because it could spiral into a lot. Here's the problem. Are people boycotting? I had this conversation with someone today. Are people boycotting Facebook and saying, we're not going to advertise in the month of July, and by August 1, we want to see some change? By August 1, nothing's going to happen. So August 1 starts, it's back to school. You're in the apparel business. You have to advertise. You can't. Or in July, are you shutting off your Instagram? Or you'll keep posting organic posts? I mean, unless you're going to say, I'm leaving the platform forever. That's not a real protest.
Yeah, and for our sake, we wish they left forever because there's only two places to advertise, Google and Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At scale,
Yeah.
Sure, if you're a niche business, but at scale, you cannot even spend that kind of money anywhere.
You can't
Digitally,
spend
no.
hundreds of millions of dollars anywhere. Not on TV, nowhere.
Or even, we know that's not effective, but yeah, digitally, we at least have track of ROI.
Yeah. So I think the whole boycott, it's cool that people are doing it. I just don't see what they're expecting the end result to be.
At least Zuck's vacationing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Zuck looks like, I'm looking at the pictures. It looks like he's having the time of his life.
Yeah.
Jet skiing.
He doesn't care. He's like, my stock's at a record high and all these companies want to boycott. By the time they're done boycotting, we're going to be worth triple.
Sheesh. Good for him. I mean, that's a lot of acres.
How much staff do you think he has on that property?
It has
500
to be
people.
so many. Yeah.
Because he has to have security.
Probably has 50 security. I mean, you're talking hundreds of acres. You have to have armed. It's like
Yeah,
it's
you have
like
to lock
Mexico.
down. Yeah, you have to lock
Mexico,
down.
United States border.
And I think they hate him in Hawaii.
Oh, he definitely hated.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's wrap it up with our winners, losers content.
Yeah.
Dee, who's your winner?
My winner, I mean, that was actually my winner, was Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay, yeah.
I appreciate that he does not give two fucks. He's paddleboarding out in Hawaii. Boycott advertising, his movement is building steam. He's, not doing anything about fake news, doesn't care about Senate hearings. Yeah, he's unbothered.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
That's fair. Anand?
My winner is one of our topics. It's LeBron.
Yep.
I just don't think we'll ever see an athlete that comes from those circumstances empower his best friends and have this level of success.
I agree.
It's virtually impossible to do what they've accomplished, and I think it's the most underappreciated part of the LeBron James story. People focus on how many championships and whatnot, but that's, in my opinion, at this point, completely secondary to what he's done building schools. Like, it's crazy.
I think that, like, in 20 years, LeBron will be like an Oprah type figure.
Yeah.
Like the way he's respected. It's just going to take a while because right now people are too busy debating if he's better than Michael Jordan or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is Simply Pete.
Yeah.
Once again, I've given it to him before, and I just, the guy, it looks like, I don't know, I haven't got an update. It looks like he's going to get a raise
Yeah.
in the middle of a pandemic.
That hasn't been confirmed.
I know, but a
Nothing's
lot of...
been confirmed yet. And quite frankly, this week has really seemed to toss it around a little bit.
Yeah.
I was not expecting
maybe
that.
until we blew it.
Yeah.
It looks like you were lined up for a raise. You got a new car. You got a prime parking spot.
Have had a car. You just don't pay attention to me anymore. So
I thought you got a new car.
a little bit ago.
Listen, the point still stands. In a pandemic, you got a new car. You're high as shit, just having
Well,
lots of sex. And you got a new office with a great view.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Thanks, man.
You're thriving. You're eating Jones on Third, which for our out-of-state listeners is a very trendy LA, influencer type spot.
Look, I'm just trying to clock in, clock out, do my job to the best of my ability.
Yeah,
You know
just
what I
a
mean?
blue collar guy.
Yeah, just another
Blue collar guys
hardworking-
aren't eating Jones on Third.
Yeah.
And he knew the order. That's the influencer order, the Chinese chicken salad.
That's what my wife gets. Chinese chicken salad. We were there yesterday picking it up.
Yep.
I don't know how did you get a pamphlet? Like, this is the to
No.
do?
You literally just fall into it here. Like, there's no other way.
Next thing you know, your Earth Bar, Jones.
Oh
on
yeah, you
Third.
showed me Earth Bar. I love going to Earth Bar.
He's going to show
Earth Bar
up
is
on a
great.
Sunday like, man, that party with Elon Musk was
Yeah.
He will.
Matt Belinsky and Elon
he'll-
Musk last night.
Yeah, he'll have the Belinsky story. Okay. Who's your loser?
My loser are the red states because their complete lack of respect for masks is unnecessarily going to cause tremendous amount of harm to their own people.
Yep.
And, we talked about it briefly last episode, I believe, but in, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut said they listed 8 states where you can't, if you come in, you'll have to be self-quarantined. Look, I don't know how they're going to enforce it. Right now, it's probably not truly enforceable. But the mere fact that in our own country, there's people not welcome from certain states. And if you look at those states, it's your it's your Alabamas, those are the places that people don't want to come. People don't want people coming from. So I just think what's happening in Texas and Florida and Arizona is really, really, really scary. And it's these things can crater the economy far worse if everyone gets sick and people get terrified to leave their house.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay. Anand?
In the same theme, Scottsdale City Councilman Guy Phillips.
Oh yeah, I can't breathe.
He did a rally yesterday, showed up in a black mask. They didn't pan to show how many people were actually there. And he goes, I can't breathe. So he's mocking,
George Floyd.
Eric Garner,
Yeah.
and then takes his mask off and reads a Benjamin Franklin quote about liberties and people taking your liberties away. And basically it's an anti-mask rally.
People are fucking crazy. It blows my mind how crazy people are. And full-grown adults acting like 5-year-olds like mocking,
Yeah.
like it's so wild. Yeah. Okay.
It's insane. That video is insane.
Okay. Mine is Chaz.
Okay.
Actually, formerly Chaz.
Not Chop.
Chop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Did they have a pronunciation change in their movement, or was it always chop?
no, it's Chop.
Chop.
Now
Oh,
it
sorry.
went from
Chaz. I knew.
Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone or whatever to Capitol Hill Occupied Protest or something like that. I don't know why. Maybe they realized that Chaz was like laughable. But look, I went on, and I want to be careful here not to seem like I'm not, down for the right cause. But like, I went on a pretty deep dive last night on
Chop and
the
Chaz.
updates on Chop and Chaz. And like, from everything I can see, that doesn't look from a partisan stance, it is madness. It's like, there's like fights all night. People have been shot. There's been 3 shootings. There was one time where a person was shot and the paramedics stopped at the gates of Chaz and like they wouldn't go in without police escort, but police are told you're not allowed to be there. And there's this whole jam up and there's a shot person inside. So now there's this jam. People have been raped. There's videos going out of do not leave your kids alone in Chaz. Do not go anywhere. Do not talk to strangers in Chaz. Like, it's just like, so in, less than a month, this little experiment turned into fucking mayhem. And the funny thing was, and this is the part where, once again, I am a Democrat, but this is so funny, is the first thing they did was built a border wall. The next thing they did was started guarding it with guns. The next thing they did was, and it's like you literally sort of had this micro version of everything you hate about it. They have places that are black only. They have segregation, except for reverse, where there's like a black only like farm in the ground that's like literally 20 feet by 20 feet for fresh vegetables, but only black people are allowed to take from it.
This is in Seattle?
Yeah.
But is it in like proper downtown
Capitol
Seattle?
Hill is like in the middle of the city. Like I've had dinner there many times. And we have some Cathys that live in that neighborhood and they've said, hey, if you want some, boots on the ground, we could share with you. Maybe I'll have them call in.
Yeah, the best thing I saw was there was a guy, I forget his name, but he went there like undercover for 2 weeks. And I think this guy's liberal leaning. And so it wasn't a hit piece, but he just said like in the daytime, it is like peaceful and people are playing instruments. At night, it's just madness. And there's people like beating the shit out of each other and they're all screaming, no phones, no phones. This is what Fox News wants. Don't show it. Like they're like hiding. But it's just like, come on, man. Like you had such a good thing going and you're going to fumble it with dumb shit like this.
So in theory, you could have just been like a random Amazon employee and accidentally live in Chaz.
People live there.
Yeah,
People
of course.
There's
That don't want to be part of Chaz and have the wall.
Yeah.
There's massive apartment buildings within Chaz.
Yeah.
And you're just stuck there. And there's a story, I couldn't tell if this was true or not, so I didn't want to say it, but screw it, it's too funny. There was like a documentarian guy from Tokyo who showed up to show that Chaz is peaceful, and in 15 minutes got the shit kicked out of him. And there's video of him leaving with ice on his floor. Anyway, we got to do better. What about content?
My content is Brittany Runs a Marathon. It's a movie on Amazon Prime. It's about a woman who just like down and out, doesn't have a job, doesn't like have any, unhealthy. The doctor tells her she needs to lose 55 pounds. And she goes, so you want me to lose a Siberian husky out of my body?
It's a documentary? Or?
No, it's a movie.
Wow.
It's a funny movie. It's about this woman running a marathon. And obviously everyone who's doing the GRC Grand Running Club half marathon next weekend, I think it's a good movie to pump you up.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, Anand?
So I'm going to tee you up, D. New podcast.
Okay.
Content. Modern Prescription.
Oh, yes.
What's
so Modern Prescription is our new homegrown content from Dr. Jeff Toll, Dr. Deepak Duggar.
That's good.
They are, Jeff Toll, you guys have heard on the pod, concierge, Beverly Hills.
Hot doctor.
Hot
That
doctor.
was... Son of a bitch. I was trying to give a reference point of what we made before.
For reference, Pete's about to walk next door and record Jeff Toll, and he's got a lot of weed in front of him. And he's called him hot.
You just yelled hot guy.
Yeah.
Hot doctor.
You said hot guy.
No, that's what we referenced him last time.
All right,
It's always
somebody
taken
give
out of
Jeff a heads
context.
up. Somebody give Jeff a heads
Someone
up.
can beat a joint. Someone can
So
Oh my God.
So the two doctors, we know Jeff, we met him. He is a concierge doctor here in Century City in Beverly Hills. And his friend is a Beverly Hills plastic surgeon.
Nice.
And they have teamed up, and we're putting it out. I guess we're producing it. Modern Prescription. They dropped their first episode yesterday, and it's really interesting because like they are obviously highly trained doctors. Jeff, mentioned where he went to school. Deepak went to like Yale, Penn, just like crazy like colleges. But they're also live in LA. They're around celebrities. They're around all the fuckery that we are around.
Yep.
So it's a really interesting, nice balance of like true medical information and, just actual real life. And I think it's going to do really, really well. Check out the first episode. I don't want to spoil what they talk about, but I thought it came out great.
Yeah, it was great. I listened to it. And like you said, they're obviously highly educated, super smart guys that can make a field that's typically only talked about in a serious way a little more palatable for the average person to actually gain information while having fun listening to it.
Yeah.
And we know Pete's a fan.
Let's get Pete. Let's see if we can get Pete like maybe a butt job.
He wants Jeff to do it personally.
Well, this guy's only noses.
Guy knows. I'm sure he can arrange.
I'm quite good. I have a big enough ass as it is.
We can fix your nose.
This is getting weird.
My nose is fine.
Oh.
Well,
You know what? Let's have the doctor check it out.
that's not very LA of you. I think it'd be more LA if you had a little nose job.
Yeah, just a little tweak.
Yeah, just a little.
Okay.
You want to keep eating those Chinese chicken salads, you got to buy full in to the persona.
All right, I'm in.
Okay.
You convinced me.
Okay, good. Mine is, I don't know if anyone said this or not yet, but the show Unorthodox on Netflix. Did we already say that?
No, I've heard about it. I haven't watched
It's a good show. I kept hearing about it. I watched the trailer. I was like, nope, not for me. But ran out of content, started watching it, and it's actually really good.
Is it funny or no?
What's it about?
It's based on a true story, but it's a scripted show based on a book, I think, about a girl who leaves the Hasidic Jewish community in Williamsburg. And I'm only one episode in, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to blow it, but it's essentially her journey out of like realizing the rest of the world.
Got it.
But it's pretty good.
Okay.
So check it out.
All right.
That's it. Do we have? Do you want to do a shout out?
Yeah, we have 2 birthdays.
Nice.
Do you want to do the first one?
I would love to do the first one.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and do the first one?
First one is Raj Kotecha out of Dubai, who I've actually got the chance to talk to on DM, celebrating a big birthday. And so we love Dubai. I don't know if Dubai is back open, and interesting enough, he used to, I don't know if he still is, but in the event business. So I'm curious to see how he's going to be celebrating his birthday.
No, Dubai's popping.
Oh, it's
I have
popping.
a friend who lives there. Namos, all these places.
Okay, so
yes.
Raj, enjoy your birthday. Looks like you're going to have a good time.
Are Americans allowed in?
I think the border. So there are some Emirates flights that have started. So
Yeah.
to certain countries, definitely not U.S. We're not allowed to go anywhere.
Taylor should go to Dubai.
Yeah, you should. You're right. You're totally right.
Yeah.
I agree.
That'd be way more fun.
Way more cool.
Yeah.
We get such good content out of that.
Yeah.
Instead, Texas.
Taylor got locked up for drugs.
What happened?
If Taylor, someone offers him
yeah.
weed, he takes it, you go
Yeah.
to jail. He's there for life.
Yeah, that would happen. Well, what's the 27 nights? What's the name?
56 nights.
56 nights. Okay. So happy birthday.
Yes.
And then we got another one?
Yeah.
Who do we got?
Mendrick Leland, 36th birthday. It's on June 25th. He has been listening to the pod for a very long time, but he's a longtime fan of drama and Young and Reckless. And he
Nice.
said the Y&R team used to frequent one of his restaurants called Yoji Japanese Fondue and Sake Bar in downtown.
That is true. In our old office.
Yes.
Yep, that is true. And shout out to you, man.
Yeah, wow.
And I think he used to hook us up a little bit. Or someone did there, did.
Yeah.
Sick.
Maybe it was Mendrick.
Wait, so it's Mendrick's.
Oh, yeah,
That's
it was
his
Mendrick.
restaurant?
It was Mendrick.
Yeah.
Oh, he owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Mendrick. Mendrick
Yeah.
used to hook us up. That was, I think, Danny was, they were friends.
So that was probably what, 8 years ago?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mendrick, man. Maybe we come through. Is your restaurant still cracking? Did you
I like
survive?
fondue.
Yeah.
Give me a vegetarian fondue.
Let's go.
All right.
Happy birthday, Mendrick.
Okay.
Okay, good stuff. That's it. Okay, check out melrosestreetjournal.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Hit us up on Instagram at groupchatpod. Rate and review the show if you really love us. Go on
Yeah.
iTunes. Help us get on those top charts. What, Pete? I see you loaded up.
Well, yeah. Did you see who was on Behind Closed Doors yesterday?
Tim.
Yeah.
Tim?
Yeah.
Tim.
I'm curious. I got to watch that episode because I feel like whenever I see those, I click the comments to see kind of how people are reacting. I was excited. I thought people would probably react well to Tim. And I see in the freaking comments, stop touching the mic drama. So I'm just guessing.
Just talking shit.
Yeah, Tim finally got a freaking platform, started talking shit.
Yeah.
Running his mouth. Probably
what,
for
Tim?
a good 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. You can't.
Why don't you take this out of the audio?
It seems like from the clips I was watching Pete edit yesterday, he's really showing his personality in Behind Closed Doors.
Really?
Tim is.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's come out of his
Oh,
shell.
Tim is.
All
I
right,
thought
so
you
I'm
meant
gonna
Pete.
watch it. We've
Yeah.
we've
You're
enough.
gonna-
We've seen enough.
Tim's
Pete's
throwing
speaking.
some one-liners.
Yeah.
Getting glib,
Yeah.
Wow.
as they say.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I saw the clip, I saw him say he was really nervous, and then I just went to the comments, and I kept going.
He said his dream was to produce podcasts.
Yeah, he was
since
trying to
a
be.
small
He was
child.
trying to be like satirical. It was like, yeah, my dream was always to stick microphones in front of people's faces and watch them record.
Oh, you're a piece of shit, Tim.
Yeah, don't forget, Tim is not Mr. Nice Guy.
No, he's all night.
No. He's got some zingers. Okay,
All right.
good stuff. Thank you guys. We'll see you on Monday.